Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I am doing a book review of Now to the Stars by Captain W.E. Johns. This is a book from 1956 from Hodder Stoughton. It's a classic sci-fi if you haven't guessed already. It's a very beautiful cover. I got this as a Christmas gift last year. And yes, I have acrylic nails again. So I've been trying to not bite my fingernails. It's just like an anxiety thing. I don't know. So every once in a while, I get acrylic nails put on, being like, okay, if they can grow out underneath, then maybe I can grow my nails normally. But it never seems to happen. So whatever. Just figured I'd explain this to you. Now to the stars. This book has got to be one of the most boring classic sci-fis I've ever read. A dull way to end the year of classic sci-fi, but oh well, I've got some wild ones coming up. I keep saying that, but no, I promise I'm going to find a wild one for you next time. So this novel is about a small crew of Terran and Martian people traveling to various planets, incorrectly referred to as stars in the book, simply to see what's going on over there. Spoiler alert, not much. We kind of get the same thing over and over again. The aliens are generally all just slightly varied humans in pre-developed societies fighting off big animals. The descriptions are easy to understand and conceptualize, but it's quite simplistic. The characters are also very bland. The main character has some sort of a struggle with the human capacity for violence, given nuclear bombs, basically, but it's unclear why this is or how it's resolved. This is book 3 of a series, so maybe this had something to do with the other 2 books, but it's not resolved, so I'm not really sure why it was even included. The alien characters from Mars are just humans, basically. We learn, they're basically just humans, and we get literally no description about them, so I think they look almost exactly the same. I don't know. They are also they're also no different from the main character in terms of temperament and opinions. It's just, they're pretty much just humans. The main characters are Rex and his badass dad Tiger, and there's also a professor character who is slightly eccentric but not enough to be memorable. Now, there is a kind of funny twist at the end of the story, but the lead up to it and resolution are all within 5 pages, so it's not a very good wrap up, and it kind of comes out of nowhere. The technology and science are laughably quaint, and there's nothing overly zany or wild to talk about. Overall, pretty dull. Not really recommended. There is this great line, though. Poor little Earth, he brooded sadly. So busy, so well-meaning, so worried by its troubles, so full of its importance, so proud of its learning that really amounted to so little. I also liked how Rex at one point referred to the sun as old fiery face. That is something I can totally get behind. You're out at the beach, you're like, old fiery face is just beaming today. I'm definitely going to call the sun old fiery face. Definitely. So I'm going to jump into my classic sci-fi bingo. It's going to be very short because, spoiler alert again, there's not a lot in this book, but I'm going to do it anyway. So thanks for watching. If you really don't want spoilers about this book, don't watch this, but I'm sure no one else wants to read this. And I apologize if this is your favorite book of all time, but sorry. Outdated science. Yes, most definitely we get that one. There is a note at the start explaining why he used the wrong terms for planets, meaning he calls them stars. But there's also a whole lot of other silly stuff in this book that's very dated, and you're just like, yeah, that's not realistic anymore. Spaceship blows up or crashes? No. Predicting social changes? No. Sexy female scientist? No. Cool aliens? No. They are not cool, they're boring. I already said this, so no. Alien-human romance? Not enough to get a check mark, but Rex and Marino, this woman on Mars, clearly have something going on, given that she is very humanoid. In fact, I think the idea is that they are just humans living on another planet. They're not actually aliens. It doesn't count. And also, she is literally not in the story, so it does not count. Generation ship? Nope. Space soldiers? Nope. AI or robots? Nope. New worlds? Yes. They are not very exciting. Some are more interesting than others. There was one I really liked. The spectacle that greeted Rex's eyes as they made a cautious approach to the glittering planetoid surpassed anything he could have imagined. He would have said it was possible to visualize a world of glass by mentally magnifying a glass marble a million times, but the limits of his imagination would have fallen far short of reality. He had expected to find a flat surface, but the surface of Uncas was anything but flat. Not only had the glass hardened in mighty sweeping undulations, as if a rolling ocean had been arrested suddenly in motion, but it was split and cracked in all directions to form a chaos of terrifying chasms. Here, thought Rex, was not only a lifeless world, but one that would remain dead forever. Rex is really, really depressing. He's just like not feeling this amazing journey through space. He's just like, I want to go back to Scotland. Like, wow. Anyway, so some of the worlds are cool. That one's actually the coolest. The rest were kind of not cool. Cyberpunk, definitely not. Blatant sexism, yes, despite there being one woman in the entire book. She cries for one sentence and then is gone. She has no dialogue. But we have the professor making this comment. A little girl wore a bracelet of colored stones. How little she could have guessed, reflected Rex morbidly. Rex, geez, chill out. That her little treasure would be gazed upon by men untold ages after she had ceased to be. In the female, personal adornment is not a modern habit, observed the professor dryly. Yeah, bud, like you're not wearing a fancy watch. Give me a break. So this was actually interesting, other than being annoying, because it reminded me of how British colonists, would look at relics and make assumptions about it based on their own biases. So the bracelet in question here could have been many things, not just like female adornment. So I was just like, yeah, whatever. Get off your high horse, professor. Forerunner technology, no. LGBTQ+ representation, definitely not. Portals or black holes, nope. Microfiche, unfortunately not. Male MC is kind of a dick. Rex is clearly got some issues going on, but he's not a dick, so no. Racial equality, definitely not. The professor also makes a racist comment at one point about progress in Britain versus other countries. I'm not going to get into it, but definitely not racial equality from him. The professor, I don't like the professor, clearly. Plasma, other future weapons, nope. There's mainly just a bunch of spears, and Rex's dad, Tiger, has a literal rifle, like a 308. Post-apocalyptic, no. Bounty hunters, no. Galactic war, no. Text limited today, definitely not. Passes the Bechdel test, no. Quick pick bonus. Reptiles, nope. Female MC, haha. Convergent evolution, yes. This book supposes that the moons and planets of our solar system are where these pre-developed societies live. Therefore, the idea is that we on Earth are like and Mars, I guess, are an elevated society that has risen to civilization, where these other places like on Mercury and Venus are clearly just starting out. And so that is kind of a form of convergent evolution, because you would think in this one planet that was full of salt, people just wouldn't look like humans. We wouldn't have the same physiology as people here that can't have that much salt in their bodies, but no. So, yeah. It kind of blew my mind at the end, actually, when they were like, we're on Mercury, and I'm like, what? I thought they were like way out of the galaxy, somewhere completely different, not in our solar system. So that was kind of wild. But yeah, not the most interesting book in the world. The cover, I will say, is beautiful. It's a beautiful cover, but in terms of a story, going on the shelf, never looking at it again. Except when I do an Instagram post for it. So yeah. So thanks for watching, and I hope that didn't offend you if you are Captain W.E. Johns or related to him, or you love that book. Yep.